Hi, welcome to my video, and if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel, give a thumbs up to this video, and also hit the notification icon so you can be notified with new videos as I add them to the channel. Now today I'm going to show you the concept of nesting a function. We've probably used function before, for example the sum function, the average function, and so on. But there is something called nesting of functions. Now, nesting of functions is basically using a function within a function. The purpose of doing that is usually to solve more than one issues. For example, if you look at the list of names over here, we have two issues. The first one being the case is not proper. You want the first letters to be capital, but as you can see here, it's a mix of random capital and small letters throughout the names. Now, the second issue is it has unnecessary spaces in front, in between, and maybe even behind the names. So we have two issues to solve. Now, when you use a function typically solve one small issue. So, for example, we have two issues over here. Now, if we use the trim function, it will solve the issue of the unnecessary spaces. So let's use the trim function over here. Trim Jane Doe. All right. Now, if I were to copy the functions below, you can see that it has solved the problem of unnecessary space. But the second problem is yet unsolved. Now, in order to do that, we can use the function proper. So equals proper, the improper name. So there you go. And if I copy the function to the spaces below, it will solve the second issue. Okay, now here comes the concept of nesting. Now, if you look at this function over here, it refers to B2. And B2 is basically a function itself. So what we can do is we can basically use just a single column to solve this issue by substituting this trim function. Okay, I'll give a copy command on that. All right. Now, if I were to go over here, now B2 is the trim function, so I'll just substitute that with, let's delete that and paste it inside the bracket. So this is known as nesting. So we are solving two problems by using two functions, but within a single column. So I don't need this anymore. Let's just delete that. Right now, I shall delete the rest as well. Okay, and I can just copy this to the spaces below. There you go. So I'm now solving the two problems, still using two functions, but just using one column. So this is known as nesting. So I hope this illustration here gives you a good idea of what nesting is all about and why some functions are like uh, look impossibly long, because sometimes we have to nest a few functions to solve a few issues that you have on your data. Simply because usually what a function does is a function usually solves one small issue. So you probably need to use a few functions if you have a few issues on your data.